of kids understand a lot of
Yeah,
things.
one cool thing about kids is if they know something, they are proud to let you know they know
Yes,
it.
yes, and I love that, right? We gotta give them the opportunity to do that and expand their knowledge, so
Absolutely,
mhm.
absolutely. Without any further ado, I'm going to bring to the stage Miss Cornita Cole. Hello, how are you?
Hello, Dr. Rhonda, how are you?
I'm wonderful. It's so good to see you. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad I had the introduction. I was tagged and I was like, "Okay, this is it."
Yes, I remember that. I was like, okay, we only have a few slots left. And
Yep,
then you were the one of the people who were tagged and you didn't waste any time. I was like, oh, okay, she's in there.
yep. Thanks for
So thank
having
you
me.
for that. I'm really happy to have you. So tell me a bit about yourself.
I'm a Washingtonian. I don't know if you're from this area.
I'm from New
Um,
Orleans, but
okay.
I mean I live here. I live
Yeah,
in yeah, I live in Accokeek, Maryland. But
okay.
yeah,
I'm familiar with the
oh,
area.
okay. Not a lot of people are. Some people be like, "What is Accokeek? Where is that?" But
Yeah,
then
yeah,
I'll
right
be like,
past
"Well, I've heard of
Waldorf.
Waldorf."
Yes, yes, yes. So I say born and raised in a Washingtonian because a lot of times we don't find a lot of people that are from here these days. So
A
sometimes I just
hodgepodge.
say it. Yeah, when I provide the history, the schools that I went to, sometimes some people can relate and be like, oh yeah, I went to that high school or junior high school. So I'm
Mm,
local. I lived in New York for a while. I lived in New York for like 12 years after college, and then I
okay.
decided to come back and my background has been in commercial real estate for 16 years. And I just
Nice.
recently kind of semi retired and started focusing on writing. So just wanted to kind of see how that's been going for the last 2 years. I've been writing. My first book I published 2 years ago.
Nice.
But over the last 6 months, been trying to figure it out, right? How can I
Hmm.
expand the project and just get in front of more people? So that's kind of where I am now.
I see. So when you started writing, what was your goal with wanting to write?
For me, it was I was really focused on writing something else, a book around the ego and psychology, which I didn't have any experience in. But right after that, my daughter got ill of kidney disease, and
Mm.
I'm a kidney donor, so I was kind of dealing with that. And then within the same year, my partner of 14 years had colon cancer, and he's since passed away. So for
Oh
me, it was
wow.
a lot on me, and actually, it was him that said, if you can't write the other book, just try a children's book first. This was like kind of before he got sick. So
Okay.
I kind of moved into writing the children's book, expressing myself. And the first book is A New Kidney for Mom, which is dedicated to my daughter, her husband, and my granddaughter because they were so resilient throughout the entire process of, just dealing with the situation. So they
Right.
were
I
able to get
really
through it.
admire people who can write children's books and write
Mhm.
about such, well, what could be a heavy topic. And you're able to do it in a way where children can understand. So, can you talk a bit about that process? How were you able to break such what could be a scary concept
Yeah.
down to where the average child could understand it
I
and
know
appreciate it?
it's definitely a thin line because the children's book series is titled Medical Tales for Small People,
Yes.
and anything medical sounds like you're saying very over the top and just intimidating. But my goal in communicating and it's more about the visuals in the book, and also it's a story talking about family. So it's not just about okay, this is a disease, or I also talk about this is the part of the body, but I'm also explaining social connectivity and communication
Yes.
in the books, like how the parents or the grandparents responding to these things and giving the kids an opportunity to problem solve in the book as well, with great colors, great animations. And I've been very fortunate to actually have all of my books are blessed with medical professionals. So
Okay.
I'm kind of on that to get the retention and so people can know like this is serious. right?
Right,
And
right.
these individuals, oncologists or nephrologists and therapists that are backing my books and, signing off on it are saying, hey, this is needed. So great job.
Wonderful. Now, how many books are in the series right now?
4. And
Wonderful.
yeah, they're all self-published by the Stanley Group, which is my
Okay.
company. And just 4. I did my recent one, Cece's birthday, on my birthday. So that was kind of dedicated to me. And I focus on that book more on animation because the organs are characters,
Okay.
because the direction I'm trying to get into is TVs and cartoon.
Do
So
you have copies of the books with you so we can see the covers?
yeah, let's see. This is Cece's birthday party. So this is all about the human body. So you have the brain, the kidneys, and the colon. So really, they're at a birthday party with Cece, and she goes outside to play, and she's just her imagination is taking control, basically, and she's finding these different parts of the body in the garden,
Okay.
and she's communicating to those individuals, and they're telling Cece that they have issues, and she's like, oh, I think I know, oh, I think I've read about that issue. You have a headache, maybe you need some more water. How did you eat, with the kidneys, with the brain, maybe you need to calm down, too much stress. So really just about communicating. And this one is Am I Too Young? Uh, about the colon cancer. This is dedicated
Okay.
to my partner. And this one basically is about grief. So these kids are really, really trying to figure out how to deal with it. And they're doing such a great job with sharing information
Hmm.
and using different terms like, oh, my parents had death or die or bereavement. So back to it's all a conversation
Right.
with the books. And this one is about cancer. Grandpa isn't feeling well. So he's going to the doctor. But also we're sharing like, okay, this is the colon. These are different parts of the body that the doctor's communicating, to the kids, and and the kids are communicating back. They're asking questions like, oh, how does that part of the body work? And what can we do for grandpa? Can we help him eat better now?
Oh,
So
wow.
that's
Also,
what it's
that's great. So
impacting.
it actually kind of helps the kids to feel like they are an active participant in their relatives' healing, or at
Yes.
least making them comfortable. That's one medical tales for small people. Now, have you had the opportunity to maybe go to some schools or to youth organizations to read your books?
I have through relationships. So I've been very fortunate for people reaching out to me, either, college mates or just associates, and say, hey, you know, are you interested in reading? So with my reading at schools, I kind of expanded. So it's not just a book, so it's more of an activity. So I
Okay.
have toys, like I have the operation game. So I have like toys and things that they can build upon. I have plush dolls like of the different organs. So it's more of an activity, and then a reading,
Right.
and then I have questions. So I want it interactive because the kids gravitate definitely to the books, but while you're there, they don't feel like reading, right? So if I
Right.
have active things there, they pretty much kind of pick up, and then I start conversations with them where, they're at the table or however I'm displaying, and then I'll go speak about it and ask kids questions if they've experienced anything, and kids, you'll be surprised, like, yeah, I know you can live with one kidney. Like you'll be surprised, like a lot of kids understand a lot of
Yeah,
things.
one
Um,
cool thing about kids is if they know something, they are proud to let you know they know it.
yes, yes, and I love that, right? We got to give them the opportunity to do that and expand their knowledge. So,
Absolutely,
mhm,
absolutely. So, now you mentioned that you've had people in the medical profession who have kind of signed off on the books, kind of given their thumbs up to it. How did you
mhm.
approach them? Did you just have them read it, or
Um, Actually, the first one when I did the first book was which was medical. I'm sorry, which was a new kidney for mom. That was
okay?
my baby. I was following this black nephrologist, female nephrologist on Instagram, and I was just following her, and I was like, I would love. And she has her own kind of mobile retinal company, and I was like, I
Hmm.
would love to do something with you. And she was like, yeah, we're figuring it out. but I didn't know what it was because at that time I didn't even start the project yet.
Right.
And then once I started the project, I pinged her and I was like, I got it. And then I sent her a confidentiality agreement and sent her the script, I mean, the book, and see if she liked it. And she agreed and she wrote the forward and kind of went from there. And then the book around cancer, I reached out to my partner's oncologist, did the same thing with him. He was like, I'll be happy to do it. So, once people saw it, then I would show them what I've done previously,
Right.
and through relationships, really. So I've just been fortunate enough to to do that and not be
Well,
intimidated because I'm like,
yeah, and you've been meeting the right people at the right times. Because if I remember correctly, you said that you were actually in the real estate. You have a real estate background.
yes, commercial real estate. So I worked at my company for 16 years.
Wow.
So I've always had a entrepreneurial bug, though. Always kind of, we all kind of have multiple resources. So I've always kind of had that bug.
And
But I was
nothing
just
wrong
like
with
burnt
that.
out. Yeah, I just felt like I just need a break, just a, you
So do
know.
you think children's books is where you're going to stay, or do you think you might want to expand to some other types of writing?
So I'm going to expand because my first book, remember, wasn't a children's book. It
Right,
was around
right.
the so I still have that one, which is interesting because I just started. I did an anthropology project, and a chapter in that book is my book. It's just a summary, so I kind of introduced it already. I just haven't
Okay.
gotten back to it. But yeah, I think I'll
But
I'll expand.